Who's the band? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Listen, Mr. Bales. You need to calm yourself. You just need to calm yourself down.
You played
Oi,
Simpson.
Mom, bring me a wet milky. Watch Round Burn is on.
Tell me how does it feel to treat me like you do?
I was walking out of a store where they have like a bulletin board, and so we had played our first gig at the Blue Moon in Seattle, and like the only one we'd ever played as a band, and we were playing a show at the Wagon Wheel next, I think was our second gig. Maybe. Anyway, I was promoted for that, putting up flyers because I thought that would actually work, and
Doesn't.
So, yeah, well, I don't know. This guy totally like he was enamored. No, so I walk out and like. He's like, oh, you're playing a show, and I'm like, yeah, you should come out and see it, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm a huge fan. I'm like, you are? I mean, that's cool. That's awesome. Were you at the Blue Moon show? He said, yeah, I've been with you guys since the Blue Moon days, man. Like, because that was Saturday. Like that was not that long ago. But cool. And then I never saw him again.
Damn.
And he had been with us since the Blue Moon days.
I was understanding.
That's like the music that as a kid, like I never understood how people made it. You know, like I'd listen to like stuff on that Wipeout soundtrack or Prodigy, and like I just didn't understand that they were using this kind of shit, like sequencers and synthesizers, because you're not like exposed to that, like really, you know, no one knows how that stuff works. It's not common, but like it's only until like the last few years.
Popular music, really. Like it's
well,
not classified that way.
It's weird though because it's like it's always been here and it's always like been part of mainstream, but it's just it's not really like talked about. I mean, because it's like you look at the biggest selling look at like Michael Jackson, Madonna. It's like that's electronic music, you know.
Right.
That's, but people don't really think of like the producers on those tracks or people using like they just think of it as music. They're like, I don't know how it got there. It's music. They're singing to it, you know. Like it's not nearly as much of like sound system culture, you know, vinyl culture, like.
No, we just consume here.
Yeah.
And like European.
Oh, I mean, they definitely like. They'll
like
have vocal samples a lot of the time, but like there are people.
But they don't have vocalists.
Prodigy, I mean, like you know, but not like. I mean, dude, like dubstep is it's a fucking huge genre. I'm not gonna say that there's not like a lot of the ones that I know don't do that. There's even a local group actually called Beats Antique from Bellingham. They're kind of be considered dubstep. They're kind of more like one of those like world bands, you know, they incorporate like a lot of Eastern kind of like Egyptian sounding kind of scales and lots of like unique stuff. They're pretty cool, but they have vocalists. There's definitely people I've heard do vocals on tracks. A lot of the time though, I think they're like their friends or they'll have like vocalists they know. Like I don't know of like a producer who also sings, I guess. Like you know, that's more rare. Like there's definitely
there's a lot more beat makers
collaborate.
who get vocalists.
Because I think so. I don't know if this is exactly caused, or if this exactly causes that phenomenon. But it seems to me like there's certain rules to like transitions in music. Like if you're something, you can do this, but you can't do that without looking illegitimate, right? So if you have a heavy metal band that tries to become like a punk rock band, they're not going to be viewed as legit by like the punk rock community. Like they're just going to say, no, you guys are not punkers, you're a heavy metal band. But you could go the other way. You could have a punk band that slows down a little bit, becomes sturgier, gets better at their instruments, and becomes more metallic in their sound, right? Yeah. Or like if you have a rock band, if you have an electronic act, and they do electronic music, and then their third album they come out and they have like guitars and they're doing some acoustic stuff, people are like, that's cool, I like that. But if you have a hard rock band that for their third album comes out with nothing but like synths and like no vocals and long 11-minute tracks, people are like, this is what the fuck? Yeah. Guys, you jumped the rails. Like, you are not a hard rock band anymore. Like there's certain lines you can't cross. It doesn't really make any sense. It seems pretty arbitrary, but like there's certain musical freedoms that people can have and certain they can't.
I think it's mostly honestly just like with rock. And like rock, heavy metal, and punk are like probably the most elitist genres in existence. Like they're really because they have a definite like you can like fucking rappers like listen to Kanye shit like the Black Skinhead, they'll fucking go all over the place. Like it's like they'll like that song's basically like a metal song. Like you know like they're like all willing to fuck with all kinds of production. Or like electronic artists, they'll sample anything. But like I think American rock, pop, I guess punk and metal, they definitely have like that in group because this is that personality thing again. It's an identity thing. Like that's attached to it versus like just fans of music. Like you get more of a variety, I think, which makes it probably harder to make like a significant culture with like say electronic music because you just kind of attract people who like music who aren't like interested in like looking a certain way or like getting in with this crowd or whatever, you know, like
even within a genre though, like if you have a band, say they're a just hardcore, like all their songs are fast, heavy hitting, they're a real aggro testosterone band, and they write a really killer slow romantic ballad song and that's the one that catches and hits on the radio, you guarantee they are not going to fucking make it. Like people are going to hear the rest of their catalog and be like, I wanted this romantic ballad. But the reverse, like I think you can start off in people's mind as a really hard heavy band and then have a lot of softer stuff and like people will still listen to it.
Wait,
like,
what's the difference between like the two you just said? Didn't you can start heavy and go soft? You think you said they can start heavy and go soft for both scenarios?
No. Like if you're a heavy band and you're not known, and the song that breaks is a softer song, like that's what people expect to hear from you, right? Like the guys from Savage Garden.
Right. Well, yeah,
like,
that's happened to lots of. That was like the story of so many '90s bands, the one-hit wonder bands, where like they had that one song on the album, and then the rest of it fucking didn't sound anything like it.
And people hated them.
Yeah.
But I think it works better certain ways, right? So if you are known as a harder band and you write a softer song, people are like, cool. You like this is your sensitive side.
Yeah.
If you're a softer, known for softer music and you write a harder song, people are like, you fucking wusses. Like there's like they don't accept it as easy, right? Like if The Cure wrote a really hardcore killer song that was real aggro and like angry and like I'm gonna kick your ass, people are like, no you're not. Like you're not.
I feel like that's almost just like that's kind of just like to the point where you're like betraying your own image, you know, like if you sell yourself as really like this like sensitive artist type like The Cure and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a Pantera like in the next breath, like people just wouldn't buy that based on what you've given them. Like it's no fault of the audiences. Like you fuck that. Like what are you thinking? If you like I don't know.
No, I agree with that. I totally agree. Like if you are actively like trying to cultivate an image, and then you like try and stray from it, it's like you built your own coffin there. But it screws bands who do have a wide range. And if they break off one song, it's like then people are like, well, I don't want to hear all this shit. Like I want this stuff. Like,
you know what I mean? People want a brand. That's more than anything. It's
But like if Nirvana hit with Smells Like Teen Spirit, right? If they had gotten big off Polly, Smells Like Teen Spirit wouldn't have been a hit. Like as good a song as it is, if Polly had been the first song off that album and everybody had heard that first and been like, that's this band. If they'd come up with a faster song afterwards, I don't know that people would have liked them as much.
I really would have questioned the people that chose Polly.
Right, yeah. That's more than the point.
Yeah.
I mean, I can out my ass. I don't know. But,
I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to tell. People are also really fucking weird, though. Like, they're not as pigeonholed, especially nowadays with music. I mean, it's like, you know, they'll put in, like, you know, fucking speed metal and then fucking rap and then whatever. Like people are kind of all over the place now. Yeah. I know so many metalheads. It's like it seems like all I listen to is rap, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why do you wear a leather jacket with spikes? You're just fucking blasting fucking rap everywhere you go.
Yeah, it almost doesn't really matter anymore. People know what you sound like, and it doesn't matter what you call yourself. I was listening to King Gizzard last week.
Yeah?
And their new album is, like, almost a metal album.
It's very metal. I was surprised. I was listening to it when they played it, because, like, a lot of their other stuff gets real, like they have this one that's, like, really Turkish influence, so it's, like, all microtonal and weird, and, like, sounds like very, like, foreign kind of music with this kind of psychedelic rock edge. You got this one that's, like, almost kind of like jazzy and really like laid back, and then the new one's just fucking heavy and metal. It's very like Judas Priest, like early Kiss almost, like got a very classic metal sound.
Well, that was the first time I ever heard them, so then I went back and listened to one of their older ones, and I was like, this is the same fucking band? Like, what? So that's kind of
they're pretty
cool.
wild.
They just do whatever they want, I guess.
Yeah,
So maybe,
they got enough of a cult like thing.
Yeah.
It's like the name and their image and their style. Like that's a band that just style for days. You know, like that's the shit that really appeals to people, is just having like an approachable like brand. You know, like the name, the image, their art. You know, everything about it is nicely packaged.
That's where I want to get to, because I don't want to be pigeonholed into a genre.
Yeah.
Like ADD.
Yeah. No, it's nice to be able to do different stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that we did War Blues and Thief and Crystallized, and they're all on the same album. Like,
Yeah, they fit too. I mean, weird.
Like Faith No More got vilified for doing that same thing, though, right?
Dude, Mike Patton is a G. I love that band and that guy. Like, that's one. I just love how, like, whenever he's interviewed on music, it's just like he's just always talking about how much he hates music, and he hates music. He's just like, well, he was some favorite bands. He was like, I don't even listen to music anymore. Like, I hate the thing I hate most about it is the people.
Really?
Like, he's just like trolling them hardcore and like fucking what is. Fucking say, oh yeah, like I like though he like when he does kind of get sincere, he talks about his influences, and it's all like movie soundtrack music, or like some obscure like South American folk artist, or just like some crazy shit. Love that dude.
So alone, it's hard to be in this world, it's hard to be this way, it's hard to see too fast to flow, it's hard to